Hello everyone, this is Evan from the Trade Risk here on Wednesday, April 13th with a market recap video. We are first going to analyze the current market environment. We're going to look at some other markets, sector analysis, individual names, and then some trade ideas, a lot of trade ideas to look at the end of this video. Now we have a ton of material to go through, so let's just go in real quick. S&P 500 breaking out above 207 today, up 1%. We gapped higher this morning, did not fill the gap, and we proceeded to just run higher after a little bit of sideways stepping in the morning. Bulls just took it home today and closed us on the highs. So let's take a look at where we came from. We started the week right here on Monday in the midst of this range. We were looking at this 204 to 207 range. Those were sort of the guideposts that we had to work with. And yesterday, Monday, certainly a pessimistic looking day here, closing right on 204. And I think yesterday was the clues, though, that you could have acted on. Yesterday, with us closing on the lows here at 204, the bears had what they needed to really try and break us down yesterday, and they tried. The morning was looking a little scary as we were teetering under and right around this 204 level. I think that was a time where you had to just wait and see or be cautious, or if you wanted to try and front run some shorts, I guess that could have been acceptable there or had some merit to it. But the key was yesterday we failed to hold these lows. We failed to break down here. Support held, and we closed on the highs of the day, and we closed above the prior 3 days price action. That was very bullish. And you also had market internals, which were very favorably skewed to the bulls. And that was another reason why, you had to sort of believe in this close and this reversal that took place yesterday. The NIMO went positive. Advancers outpaced decliners by, I think it was over 5-1 yesterday. Don't quote me on that. I'd have to look it up. But, there were a lot of clues in yesterday's session that could probably have set you up to profit from today's move higher. Now again, we were still at best range bound, but you have to remember that the long-term context is an uptrend that we've been in since February. So while this consolidation caused a lot of uncertainty, doubt, and probably a lot of bears getting real kind of stubborn and loud that this was the time we were going to roll over, that didn't happen. And of course, we're back to the situation where, well, maybe we're a little overbought based on today's rally, but still, I think the underinvestment of the majority and the doubt, just the general doubting of this rally far outweighs any of those, of the current slight overbought conditions that we have. So really, to sum it all up, I think, this trend continues higher, right? We took out resistance. That's bullish action. Again, I don't think it's an easy long. I don't think it's easy to chase right here. If you had no positions, can you buy the close? I don't know. That's a tough one. You still have to trade with stops, right? You still have to be aware that if you look at a weekly chart, you have a lot of previous supply right in here, price memory, top end of this range. So ultimately, you would expect this to start to kick in and maybe cause us to move sideways for a longer period of time or potentially pull back. But the truth is we just consolidated and now we're breaking out again. It just does not look like the price formation to me that I would want to even consider trying to short. Not yet. The shorting chance was right here on Friday, and the bears missed it. So I think the bulls are once again back in control. For us, we did do a little. We put on another position today. We added a little bit of exposure, and we did buying yesterday. We had our best 2-day back-to-back days of 2016 because we were sort of picking up on some of these small clues here and playing with this longer-term trend that's been in place. So it was a very good 2 sessions for us. We continue to hold long exposure and hopefully look to take some profits here tomorrow if we see some follow-through. Again, we have earnings season. Anything can happen. We had JP Morgan this morning, which market responded to favorably. That helped out. But really, there was a lot of sector sort of breadth to the upside today, supportive of this move. Let's look at some other markets. IWM, this is the monster case right here. The most bullish today is clearly the small caps, up 2.16%. We finally filled this gap back here from the beginning of the year. We were mentioning that quite a bit in last week's video. We took out resistance. I mean, everything here looks pretty strong to me, especially after this type of consolidation that got put in. Certainly a lot of doubt, fear, and you know, just a lot of fear kind of created in this recent consolidation that we might break and head lower, but clearly that did not happen. We resolved to the upside. That looks real good. The Qs maybe not as strong today, but still strong, taking out, you know, new closing highs. Hasn't quite filled this gap all the way, so we're still in it. I would still probably expect us to get up here and fill this right around 112 or so. Still very bullish action, all things considered. So let's look at some other markets. TLT hanging up here. I mean, it found some resistance up here right under 133, but you can see this general area up here is just putting a little hesitation on price. Still bullish trend. It was a nice little recovery day today. See if we can build on it, the bulls, and get this one going again. USO, so this has certainly helped the rally, I guess, over the past few days with this fast move coming from $9 all the way up to the top end of this range again, with the prior highs from mid-March. You can see us stalling down here, or stalling up here a little bit, but still, you know, extended away from the fast-moving averages. Momentum's clearly on the bull side right here. Let's see how it acts tomorrow. Could pull back a little bit, or if it really wants to probably put on some pressure and pain, I would imagine it would squeeze above 1070, above today's highs. So we'll have to see how that acts heading into tomorrow's session. UNG, you can see strong close, getting basically ready to break out from this recent consolidation. I really like UNG here quite a bit, and this one certainly looks good. I like the whole commodity space, and we're heavily involved in it now, with a couple of different positions that we have on gold. This one cooling off a little bit today. It's back to just the middle point here, so this is really sort of a tough, you know, a tough sort of spot for gold right here. It could go either way. Bullish momentum, probably still more favorable than the bears right now, and again, context of a longer term uptrend that it's been in since January. So healthy consolidation in my opinion. Maybe it just needs another week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks in this range, and then we'll get some type of resolve above 121 or below 115 and see which way this goes. Silver, this has been off to the races here. We are long this market. We got involved in it right here on this very scary sort of chase day, but so far the momentum has kept up there. It's the weekly pattern that I really like. You can see we're clearly above this trend line now. We took out these prior highs, so this looks good to me for some higher prices. We're still long it. DBC, this is also where we're long in the commodity space. We got involved in this one back here on Friday, and this has had a really nice run for us all the way to the top end of this range. So DBC is looking pretty good, and this is all in the midst today of a US dollar which was increasing up almost 1% here, UUP, and still we got a nice rally for the most part in commodities across the board. So that's pretty constructive. Again, US dollar at a pretty interesting spot right here. It's trying to stage a weekly reversal candle at some major support, so keep an eye on that going forward. Now, looking at some of the sectors, financials clearly was where a lot of the upside was today. Again, this was off the heels of JP Morgan's announcement, or earnings release rather. So clearly taking out resistance. This looks good. Looks like there's probably more in the tank here, especially with the way this candle looks. No looking back on today's gap. Took out this prior two pivots. Things look pretty good here for financials. Industrials looking good as well today. Back up to these highs. This is looking pretty strong. Taking out convincingly, trying to take out these prior, these prior levels of supply around here. So gets continuation above 56. That looks good. Energy looks good. I mean, there's a lot that looks good. Discretionary starting to look good. Biotech coming back again today after pulling back to then retesting this breakout zone. That looks good. I think really look at it from the other side. The things that didn't look so hot today were utilities. They were coming back down. Now you have some pretty important support to work with here. We're out of this trade. We were in this for quite a while. We sold the rest of it on this day here. So XLU, maybe a little bit of unwind going to happen there. And even the staples, also similar situations, still holding up, all things considered. It's had a hell of a move, but you can see it's at least consolidating here. So you'd want to be, you just want to be aware of that action. up there. Now, getting into some of the individual names, Apple looking really good. Looking at a weekly chart, I lost my drawings. Oh yeah, there they are. Above this trend line here, and holding this support, a nice thrust off of this 108 support. So it held in where it needed to, extending back, making new closing highs here in this recent trend. Apple looks pretty good for higher. Google, similar situation, taking out and finally getting back above all of this sort of messy range that it was in. If you look left, there is still a bunch of supply in this area, so it really needs to get back above 780 or so to start really cruising and move into a nice solid uptrend. Again, earnings will be coming up on a lot of these names, so you got to keep that on, in the back of your mind. Facebook was an interesting one today. I know there were dual stories out on this, downgrades, and then I don't know what the late day news was, but this was all over the place. Ended up closing flat on the day with a ton of volatility. I still think you need to be a little cautious on Facebook here. It has violated kind of this dual support, both this horizontal level right around 112 and also this trend line. Is it anything major? No, it's not at this point. You could consider this healthy sort of consolidation or pullback since its move here back from the lows in February. So it depends on your time frame and how you want to look at this, but clearly note that there is divergence here between like Facebook as opposed to an Apple, which is still trekking and making new highs, or a Google. There is some disparity there between like Facebook and some of those other names. Amazon, another one that, really nice move today. We got long this yesterday on the close of the day as it started to emerge and looks like it wanted to just make that new leg higher here. And we did see that nice follow through move. So that was a good gain for us. We're still in this position. And after, this is just a really picture perfect consolidation pattern in the midst of a very orderly uptrend. So Amazon just behaving very nice technically. Twitter had a nice move today as well, up 4.77%, confirming the reversal from yesterday. You had this little downtrend line that it broke, needs to get back above 1760, and then ultimately it's still sort of range bound here, in my opinion, going all the way back to 1850 or so. So it still has some work to do. It's just moving sideways, so we'll have to see what comes of Twitter. Alibaba, this one challenging some big prior support now, back up to this $80 round psychological level. Keep an eye on that. Looks like it wants to push higher through it given the close, but we'll have to see how that works out. And then finally Tesla, this one finally starting to emerge from this multi-day pullback here. Nice 1, 2, 3, 4 days pulling back, and now it's moving higher again, or trying to, in the context of this long-term uptrend that it's been in since February. This looks good. Let's see if it can continue higher in Tesla going forward. Now, finally, some ideas for you heading forward. ALKS, here's one in the biospace. Look at this nice consolidation that's been taking place here after it emerged from this uptrend. You get a big gap right here. Keep this one on watch, ALKS. Check your earnings dates on all of these. This is something I haven't done. MGNX. Another bio play here, but you can see holding high and tight, looks ready to make another move higher. Weight Watchers, WTW, this one up 5.5%. This one I know is heavily shorted and doubted and made fun of quite a bit, which is probably all the reason why this can probably squeeze higher. I don't have a position in it, but just keep this one in the back of your mind. Made a nice move above 1460. It's into 1550 resistance here. I think if it gets above 1550, watch out, because this one has quite a bit of room above it. Gopro, a monster move in it today, 20% move, taking out, looks like it's trying to resolve higher in this range. This is one of those that looks so tough to chase, but it's probably the right move to try and look for some further continuation higher. I know 20% is a huge move, but it's probably the start to some sort of squeeze here. Whether or not it holds, earnings is going to be a whole nother ball game, but certainly something interesting. HP. HBQ making a nice move today, 3.5%, clear consolidation. I missed that move. I wanted it. I'm not in it, so that one looks good. Finally, Priceline. I really like the move here. This is one I was debating yesterday, but I went with Amazon instead. Had a nice 1.34% move, but I even like it on the longer term time frame here with this move. If it can get back above 1320 or so, I really start to like Priceline a lot more, so keep an eye on that one. So that's it. A lot of names covered in this video. I hope you enjoyed. If you do, like the video, or better yet, subscribe to the video, bottom right hand corner. As always, thank you for watching, and I will catch you guys next time.